Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and I am here today to talk to you about a new tarot astrological combination weekly practice that I have been doing. If you saw my August bullet journal setup, which is up above in the cards, you might have seen this. Hopefully you did. And I told you that this would be coming back in another video. And we have landed at that video. So I'm going to be here telling you about what I'm calling my weekly astro view. And this is a practice where I use divination with dice, oracle, astrology-based oracle, and tarot to look at my week ahead and to specifically look at astrology. Sorry, my camera. There we go. And to specifically look at astrology of my week ahead to learn, to grow, to divine, all sorts of things. This is a brand new practice, so I don't quite know what I'll learn yet from it fully. But so what I do is I thought I would tell you what I do and just kind of show you. So I roll the dice to get so the dice I have are D12s, and I got these on Amazon. I'll try and find a link. And we have a die and a D12 means it's got 12 sides. It's got all 12 planets and the North and South Node. We've got one with all the signs of the zodiac. We've got one with the numbers 1 through 12. So because these are my favorite decks to pair. Like, I work with this every single day and I'm obsessed with it. So I roll the dice to figure out what energy is coming up for the week ahead. And I do that on Sunday. So that's the moon in Cancer in the 11th house. So then I look through my cards and I find the moon in Cancer in the 11th house. Do. Here it's Cancer. Where's the moon? There's the moon. And the 11th house. Oh yeah. Don't know why, but there we go. 11th house. So I roll the dice. There we go. Do I have enough room here? I gotta scooch this up. So I roll the dice and I get my 3 cards. The moon in Cancer in the 11th house. And I pull out the 3 cards. And then I use the keywords on the bottom of these cards, which you can see, to build my questions for my week. And then so for the moon, I might say, what emotional needs must I satisfy? 3 of Wands. This is where I pull the tarot. Cancer, how can I nurture those emotional needs? 4 of Wands. House 11, how will my friends, how do I need support from my friends? Whatever. And I pull the 3 cards. And this is the first stage that I interpret. That looks something like this in my Book of Shadows. So this was the first week I did it on July 18th. I had Mercury, Aquarius in the 6th house. And then I tend to come up with a question that gets all of it together. So how can I satisfy emotional needs so I may protect my friends, or whatever? I come up with a question of all of it working together and I pull a card for that. And this is how it ends up looking. I take a picture of how it looks. I put it in my journal with my interpretation in my book of shadows. That's what this is. So that's what I do for the first step. And this is a honeycomb personal almanac, which is a heavy, and I don't mean physically heavy, I mean informationally heavy, complete astrology thing. So it's got my chart, it's got all sorts of information. This is made for astrologers or people who know a lot about astrology enough to understand this information. And that brings me to a week. So let me show you what a week looks like when it starts. So here's how it starts looking. So okay, that's a bit better. This is how it starts looking. And so what I do here is I use my circle guy. I have a little circle guy. This guy. And I add all the rest of the moons. The only moons it shows are the crescents, the half moons, the new moon, and the full moon. But I like to track where the moon is every day. This is part of where that Moon and Me spread I was using. This is what it got integrated into. This Moon and Me spread. So I have the moon tracked every day. And so I integrated it into here because I was looking at it and I was like, I'm not using this. So I add the circles and the moons on the side. So that way it looks here's one. So that way it looks, you've got all the moons and you can see it looks pretty well. And I add the number of what house is being activated by the moon based on my chart. I highlighted previously, for my personal, just like my regular learning, I'm trying to track Venus and the moon to see how those things affect me to try and develop patterns. So those are the pink highlights. I highlight the Venus there. And then based on what that Astroview reading I get is, based on the astrology of what I get, I look at other transits. So for this week that's just started, it's the 27th as I'm filming this, I got Pluto and Aries in the second house. So I look to see if there's any aspects here. That's what these guys show are going on with Pluto, and I highlighted those in blue. And then I decided to look at if there's any aspects going on with Aries, because Aries energy, my sun, my Mercury, and my midheaven are all in Aries. So it's a big energy for me. And so the gray highlights are things going on with Aries. And this is kind of giving me that, where I roll the dice and I pick those oracle cards, this is kind of giving me an astrological focus as like an extra. On this page is where I'm putting those Moon and Me. So what I was writing here, when I started in July, I was writing it here and then trying to remember to write it in here every day so I'd have the information all collected into one. And then I was forgetting to do it in here, and I was getting frustrated because I want to use this. I spent money on this. So that's why I'm no longer doing this in here, and it's just going in here. So on the left-hand side, I write my just astrological, I just write how I was feeling that day. Like yesterday I wrote, today was a weird day. I felt great, but my perceptions are in a weird and fucky place. So that's how I felt yesterday. I wrote that here. That's the basic information that I can look back on one day at the end of the year and see if I notice any patterns between my emotions and how I'm feeling and Venus and the moon. So that's that. And then on this side is where I do my weekly Astroview. And I do this at night at the same time. So when I do my bullet journal, I come and I fill in this, and then I look here. And based on whatever I pulled with my Oracle and Tarot, I look at that theme. So I pulled Pluto in Aries in the second house, and Pluto is transformation. So for this week on this side, I'm looking at things that happened that felt like transformative. And these are reflections. So yesterday, what I wrote here was, this week might be weird to write on because transformation. I realized I need to work on transforming the way I think. It's not a big deal. It is important. So those kinds of reflections go here. And I did that last week. Last week was a lot easier because I had Mercury, which was communication. So I had my daily mood tracking here and then writing about how I was communicating last week. So I can reflect back on and see what I learned about how I need to communicate. So that's what this week will become. And then the last bit, where it gets a bit more easy to kind of explain what I'm doing. I hope this video isn't completely confusing for everyone. I do this in my Book of Shadows. So every day last week, I pulled a 3-card spread. I chose to do stop, start, and continue because the theme last week was communication based on my Oracle cards that I got, and the theme was communication. So I pulled, I liked, what do I need to stop doing in communication? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to continue? And every day I pulled a 3-card spread for this. Stop, start, continue. And I took a picture and I put it in here, and it took up a whole spread. And that's how it looked at the end of the week. This week, I'm doing transforming, and I've chosen for the 3-card spread, mind, body, and spirit. So that's how that goes. And I realized when I was setting up my bullet journal that I wanted to be able to see any patterns on the month. I wanted to be able to see the patterns, so I added this in. I apologize. I hope this video isn't just completely scattered. I hope you can make some sense of it. But this is where I am with this. This is new, and I wanted to talk to you about it, so I can do an update video later if you guys want. So I have one for each week, and then a space for each day. So in the big box on the week, I'll write what cards I got. So I'll write the planetary body, the sign, and the house number here, and I'll write what the theme was. And then I have a space for each day of the week to write what tarot cards I got, so I can see any patterns. And that's what I'm going to do in here. And that's really the best way I know how to explain all of this. It's new and it's forming, and I'm super excited about it. And one of the main reasons I'm excited about it is because these decks together are like my whole life. I'm going to very soon have some readings available using some readings I've developed and been testing. But I'm using this combination. It helps me learn more astrology as I work with this deck. And B, it's hard to explain, but they're amazing. And so that's what the Astro View is. I hope you understood that. Please let me know in the comments down below if you did understand that, if I didn't just talk super confusingly. I admit this video is hard because I have trouble explaining things like this. I don't know why. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below if you understood what I meant, or if this video was okay. Please let me know. And I'm just going to let you go from here. So be well, and wishing you lots of love. Bye.